FBI Director Chris Wray, who still currently has a job, even though some people have been upset with him in the administration. We've heard, Ryan, I'm sure you've heard that as well. He came out yesterday and said that the FBI has over 2,000 active investigations that involve the regime, the state of China. And this is something that's on such a high level. And yet you notice that that wasn't the headline that came out of his interview yesterday that he did, his statements. The fact that China, and that was the whole point of the Warroom pandemic podcast when we started it all the way back. I was one of the first guests that we had on January 25th, was to take a look at China, to understand what China was doing to the United States and to the world. Now that you have the FBI director coming out and essentially co-signing that and saying these aren't 2,000 investigations involving Russia or involving South Africa, or take your pick of any country out there, Burundi, right, Belarus. This is the state of China. And so why do we not treat China as if it is the threat that it is? And I think that Warroom pandemic has been the forefront of that, the vanguard, to use since we're talking in neo-Marxist terms today. It's really been that's the vanguard of the proletariat against the People's Republic of China. And now you've got even the FBI director. And when I served in the intelligence community, we also saw again and again that the people that were hacking our servers, the people that were going after our classified Navy programs, our new vehicles in development, underwater unmanned vehicles, essentially the new replacement for submarines, the way that what the submarine community is going to, stealth technology, right? Their J-5 fighter, which is essentially it's a reverse engineered version of our F-22 and our F-35 program. All of these things that they're constantly, not to mention all of the information that we've seen lately, the investigations and indictments that have been coming out of professors across academia for lying about their participation in this 1,000 Talents program that in some cases goes back a full decade that they've been doing this. So China has been out there consistently running this at whole of society, not just whole of government. We like to use the phrase whole of government. They use whole of society approach to their espionage program. And I know I'm very upset about it as well. Maxie's
by the way, you got the cough and the touch after the cough.
I did. No, this is a serious show about
There's no dying in the war room.
This is the show about a crisis.
Can I ask you a question? So they're doing these investigations into Americans in working with the CCP. What is there any safeguards being brought in institutional levels? And I know, if you don't know the answer, that's fine, but I'm just posing a question. Is there any safeguards being put in the institutional level at university level to sit there and forbid these people from working with the CCP, or any safeguards on the local on a microscopic level?
You've actually hit on the right answers, because what the FBI does, they're a law enforcement agency, right?
Right.
So they treat everything as if it's
late.
one particular case, right?
Yeah.
They're going after it like it's a criminal problem, whereas we know that it's not a criminal problem. This is an espionage program that's being run by the CCP. It's being run through their consulates. It's being run through the United Front Work Department. In many cases, it involves a lot of when you see Chinese overseas, you see the students, they sometimes have participation in these. And so they're not fighting it like it's a espionage program. They're just doing onesie-twosies and, okay, we're going to investigate this specific thing, get the indictment, and get out.
Right. But there should be a way that these universities then sit there, or a mandate by the fact that these universities cannot work with, I'm not using the right jargon, but there has to be a way for universities to filter out their staff and prevent these people anyone from taking part in these programs. So that way, before we get 10 years down the line where we have professors working with the CCP.
Right, and essentially the issue is that's got to come. And all of these universities we know are tied at the hip with the federal government. They receive so much federal funding from the DOE, and so this is something where you're going to need those safeguards in from a federal level to come out and say, look, if you want those Confucius institutes to go up, if you want everything else to go up, then we're going to turn off your money spigot when it comes to the federal government.
Maxie, if I don't get you in on this, we're going to have open rebellion in the comment section.
One of the important things that we have to remember about these 350,000 Chinese Communist Party surrogates called students is that they all pay full freight. So if you're wondering why your little junior who might have needed some financial aid to get into Harvard last year didn't, there's your answer.
Well, and this is the issue with the visa ban, of course, because the universities are fighting back. They're bucking against the visa ban. I covered this on One American News yesterday because it's those student visas that are being hit, so they're going to lose the money from the overseas students.
Yeah, and that's why they want OPT to stay.
Right.
Where are we with TikTok?
TikTok. So if you go to boardpanda.com, it's a great tech blog that's out there. They've reverse engineered TikTok, and what's coming out of there, this is some dark stuff. Not only because of what they're doing on our phones, but because it's predominantly targeting our children, right? That's the tweens, the sort of the 12 to 15 range that's on there. The engineers over there put out this huge blog post yesterday where they essentially said TikTok is nothing more than a data collection platform with it masquerading as a video sharing atmosphere. They said when you compare it to Facebook, Twitter, any of the other apps that you have on your phone, even Google, we've all talked about the data issues with Google. It is completely incomparable. They said it's like comparing a cup of water to the ocean in terms of that they get everything from you. They're tracking your GPS, they're tracking your communication, they're tracking who you come in communication with, they're tracking your when you sign up for Wi-Fi, when you connect. Everything is being filtered back, and we know, we've seen multiple times that this has been filtered back through the Chinese state.
Yeah, who owns it?
Who owns TikTok?
China.
Chinese company, CCP Link company, ByteDance, I believe it's called.
ByteDance is what it's called there, yeah.
Owns the Chinese version, the Western version as well. And remember, it's not just like there's this viral app like Vine or something that just came out and was word of mouth. I mean, it's heavily marketed at that audience, and it is sucking data, not just what you put on it. Not just videos, not just facial recognition, location data, all of it. If you have TikTok, if you have somebody in your household that has TikTok, it's time to get rid of it.